working unity. We need a collective working unity amongst Muslims. Yes, there are differences. When you feel the heat of evil around you, turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Increase your ibadah. Then you will be fulfilling the message of Allah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala khatam al-anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Wa ba'd. I begin with the greeting words of the righteous. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In Surah Ali Imran, verse 186, Allah has revealed, "You shall certainly be tried and tested in your wealth and properties, and in your personal selves, and you shall certainly hear much that will grieve you from those who receive the scriptures before you and from those who associate partners with Allah. But if you persevere patiently and have the consciousness of Allah, fear Allah and hope in the mercy of Allah, then verily that will be a determining factor in all affairs." And so we seek refuge in the words of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. In South Africa, we have been living also on the front lines. Disease is ravaging our lands. Poverty is still taking a tremendous toll on the people. And recently, I was surprised to read in a BBC article, BBC Africa, the July to September edition, the article was called "God, Gospel, and the Dollar." And I was surprised to see how straightforward they were in dealing with the African continent. The article stated Africa is being colonized and Christianized all over again. It showed that thousands of missionaries who are even affecting foreign policy in major Western countries are pouring into the African continent. A Ghanaian-born head of the New York-based African Development Institute, Kwame Okono, he stated, "This is not so much a colonizing of land as it is a colonizing of the mind. It is a mental attack." Sharon Pompele of the Southern Baptist Convention, she spoke straightforward, and they put it in the article. The evangelicals' greatest opponent in Africa is not tradition, it is Islam. Africa, she says, is a spiritual battlefield. And so the focus shows us that what is happening around us, and I dare to take this a step further, not only in Africa, but all over the planet. It is a spiritual battle, a battle for the souls. It is a mental battle that has different forms, different manifestations in different parts of the planet. Why would they consider Islam the enemy? When we look on the African continent and much of the world, we find spiritually people are confused. Man worship is on the rise. Magic, the Sahara, magicians are rising up in all countries in different forms. There is a spiritual vacuum, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Straightforward. You alone, Allah, do we worship, and from you alone do we seek help. Islam is not an attack, it is life-giving. And for us in the southern region, And in many parts of the world, we see clearly people transforming in front of our eyes. It is a life-giving way. In the economic sphere, the system of usury and interest is killing us. The domination of the bankers, the inequalities of the rich and the poor. This poverty is stripping human beings of dignity. And we see it, harsh poverty. And we're hearing now about Niger and Mali, millions of Muslims starving to death. And you have to realize that for many people, the bottom line is not the fact that I'm wearing a turban. The bottom line is that Islam is life-giving, an interest-free system that would liberate this planet. In the social sphere, alcohol, gambling, it's killing us. Drugs are ravaging all of our communities. Go to the younger generation. See what the problem is that they are facing. And people who cannot take the pressure are resorting to drugs. Islam is a life-giving way to take a person out of a drug habit, to take a person out of addiction to gambling, to purify their life. This is not the enemy. This is the savior of humanity.